Hey, I thought I'd leave you a video since we can't FaceTime and you might be missing my face. You'll be finished up by the time you get this and I will still be sleeping, hopefully beyond 7 a.m. Wishful thinking. I hope your shift went well as it can go. We miss you. Dad misses you. He's always asking for you like 10 times a day. We were all out clapping for you tonight. Lily was out with a ladle and pan and Nathan's choice of instrument was bashing his brand new lightsaber, which was 50 quid, yes, his birthday gift, off the plant pot at the front door. Dad came right out in the street shouting your name over the clapping, telling all my neighbours about his son, the medic, saving lives. They were very sweet, even though he tells them the same thing every day. They do that thing where they act like it's new information. It's very good of them. Today was really hard. Sorry. Oh, that is so selfish. I mean, you're out there putting yourself at risk and saving lives, and I'm here, safe at home, and I can't even do that right. I was on calls all morning to work, and then when I got off, it was chaos. The kids were hungry and they were screaming, and Dad was complaining that he'd have had his lunch by now if he was at home. And I said, Dad, there are no carers. With lockdown, they're short-staffed, remember? And he just looked at me with that blank expression he has when you know he's forgotten. And I felt terrible. I mean, I'm the one who brought him to live with me. The upheaval, the routine changes, and he doesn't know why or what's going on in the world, and he just goes along with it. And all I do is get frustrated with him, and then I take it out on the kids. He's been telling them the little tales that he used to tell us. Nathan loves cheering an oak, and because he imagines he's the white horse galloping over the waves. And Lily's been drawing pictures of the salmon of knowledge. I don't know why I've never told him those stories. So I had this idea for lunch. I thought we could make potato cakes and we could all make them together. And Dad could tell them more stories and the kids could learn more about their granddad's culture and their heritage. And, experiential homeschooling. What a brilliant plan. So we get out the leftover potatoes and the flour, and Dad starts telling them the story of Cuchulainn. Do you remember that one? That was your favourite. And Lily's measuring out the water and I'm getting the ingredients, and Nathan is loving the story. Like, he's acting it out with his lightsaber in hand, and Cuchulainn is obviously a Jedi. And it's just brilliant. Like, if I had my phone at that point, it would have made an Instagram-worthy photo. So it's all going really well. And I turn around for a second to get the salt, and all I hear is this crash. And I turn back, and there is flour everywhere. Nathan had swung the lightsaber, and the pack of flour exploded. And it's in Dad's hair, and it's in Lily's bowl of water, and it's on the microwave, and all over the table, and all over the floor, and now the vegetable oil is dripping, and Lily's crying now because it's the oil and the flour like mixing into this sticky gloop, and it's all over her worktop, and Dad is yelling at Nathan, and I just can't take it anymore. So I tell him I'm just going to get more flour, and I leave the room. I go into the utility and I shut the door behind me, and I can still hear them all yelling and shouting and screaming, and I sink down the wall and make myself as small as I can. It's all noise. It's all one big noise. And I haven't felt like this in a long time. And it takes me back to that flat in Saracen Street. You remember that place? You know that flat that we shared with the Lee family, who were our cousins, supposedly, but we never saw them after they moved out. You know, that there was all of us. There was you, me, Dad, Mum, Annie and Daniel, and the Lee family all crammed up and huddled together in that tiny flat while Dad was out working all the hours he could to get by. He worked in the takeaway below. Remember, he would always bring prawn crackers home, and we always had prawn crackers for breakfast. Remember, Daniel would say he could enter the Guinness Book of Records for the most prawn crackers eaten in a minute. I think it was about 5 at the time. We were older. We knew what was going on. And you'd always say to me, when you grew up, you'd get a proper job. And you'd wear suits and ties and not have to come home all sweaty and tired all the time. And I'd say I would get a big house, like a mansion all to myself, and I would have all this space just for me. And it would be so quiet, silent. I thought it would be nice having Dad living with me. You know, we could connect father and daughter like when I was a child. Except he was never really there as a child, was he? No, we never really talked or spent any time together. You know, just the two of us. There was always things in the way, like people or house moves or new jobs or new schools, and there was always noise. There was never any quiet time, just all noise. Well, I've got a house with a utility room. Well, okay, it's really just a big cupboard, but I've kind of made it. And you wear a uniform, and you probably smell of hand sanitizer, so, you know, you win some. I stayed in there for as long as I could. I mean, there was no more flour, but I already knew that. So I counted to 10, and I was breathing in and out slowly. And I made my way back to the kitchen. And I could still hear them, like not shouting or screaming. It was still loud, but it was like a different noise. And I walked in, and Dad's still slightly powdered with flour, and he's drawing outlines of animals on the worktop. And Lily's laughing at his picture of a big hound. And Nathan's gathering small piles of flour into Star Wars sand dunes. And Dad looks up and he asks me if I'm okay. Tells me I'm working too hard. And I smile and say I'm fine. So anyway, we gather up whatever flour we can that's still somewhat edible, and we make the potato cakes, and they were lumpy and nowhere near as good as you can make them, but they're all right in the end. All right in the end. That's how we turned out. So anyway, after I managed to chase the kids up to bed, Dad starts asking me if we're going to the theatre, and I tell him soon. And then he starts talking about opening the shop for Mum and Dad, and if he has time, he'll ride his bike down to the sea and go for a swim. And at that point, I realise he thinks he's talking to his sister, and he thinks he's in the country he grew up in, like hundreds of miles from here. So I go along with it, and it's manageable for now. even though it's happening more often. But yeah, it's manageable for now. Oh, the manager of sheltered housing sent me a message and said that they're going to reinstate Dad's care package as of Monday. So he'll get 3 care visits a week. So yeah, I said to Dad, I said, you can go back to your own house next week. And he said he would like to sleep in his own bed. He said he's liked living with me, it's been nice, but it's all been a bit too noisy. Can you believe it? Oh. Anyway, I just thought I would leave you a message and give you an update on how we've all been. So send our love to Steve, and I hope you're well. Let us know when you're off next, because Nathan and Lily want to video call you. Okay? Bye, Frank.